Hello, members of the pit crew. This is Big Rob, and today I am reviewing a product that was mailed to me by a company called Sjoybring. And it's a little difficult to explain exactly what this product is, but the easiest way to explain it is, imagine if you bought one of these new flat screen televisions that was not a smart TV, but you could buy something that added on to it that turned it into a smart TV. This is an add-on that turns your normal regular car stereo into a smart stereo. This is the JOY-1026 portable smart multimedia dashboard console with dual cameras. Now that is a term that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, and so we're just gonna call it the JOY-1026, or maybe even just the Joy. Now, I am a big fan of unboxing videos. I'm not really good at doing them, but I do want to show you this box because this box is absolutely fantastic. It has this cool design. You may store some of the extra things that you're not using that come with the JOY-1026 in the box. So this is definitely one of those cool boxes that I will hang on to and put on the shelf and store things in. This has a lid that lifts off this way. This thing is super well packed. There was lots of foam and styrofoam and cardboard, but I've already ripped into it. So too bad for you. You don't get to see me open it. But let's talk, let me show you this device here, and then we'll talk about what it does. I want to show you all the stuff that it comes with. This is the device itself. This is the JOY-1026. You can see, where's my, this is an iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is the biggest iPhone model that there is. And as you can see, the screen is like 1.5 times the size of my iPhone screen. So it's a very long and wide screen. This can be mounted on top of your dash, or it could be mounted to your windshield. And this is going to give you Apple CarPlay. This is going to give you all the smart features that you may not already have in your not very smart current car stereo. Also, you're going to get cameras. You're going to get a lot of things. So if you drive like me, I have a 2007 van. The stereo that was in it was the opposite of smart. It was very, very dumb. It had no features at all. And this would give me all those features with very, very little to no installation. There's a lot of ways you can connect this to your stereo. We're going to talk about all those things. So let's go through real quick what comes in the box. Number one, maybe the most important thing here is this little manual, and this tells you what everything else inside the box is. It's very easy to understand. There's lots of pictures and explanations of the features and things like that. So it's not something that's going to bore you with a bunch of details and be super complicated. So first of all, we have a couple of different mounts. This is a mount that will sit on top of your dash. So if you want to mount this thing on top of your dash, this just unscrews. It goes in and it mounts to the dash. We also have a windshield mount. Now this definitely has possibilities. You can mount this and attach it to the back of the JOY-1026. So if you want this mounted on your windshield, you want it on your dash, however you want to put this in your car, you can do it. We also have a collection of cables and wires that come with the device. It is powered by USB-C. It comes with a 12-volt USB-C power adapter. This cable, I don't know how long this cable is, 10, 15, I mean, it is long. So you plug this anywhere in your dash. You can, if you have ports in the back, like behind your front seats, you could probably run it up that way. And again, it's USB-C, which I'm going to be hooking it up USB-C in this room in just a minute to show you some of the features. We also have, this came with it. Here, this is a dash mounting kit for the suction cup. If you want to put the suction cup actually on your dash, you can do that. This is the rear facing camera. Now the front camera, the one that points out towards the road, is built into the device, but this is a backup cam. You can see it's got this large lens. It has a little mount. It has all this cable. So if you want to hook up and add a backup camera, it will hook up to The screen on this, if your car, maybe it's an older car, my van doesn't have a backup camera, my van doesn't have electric door locks or windows, so it doesn't have a lot of features. So this is an easy way to add a backup camera to your vehicle. And finally, we get this little cable. Now, this can connect to your car stereo in a lot of ways. If your car stereo has Bluetooth, that's probably the easiest way. You can connect this to your stereo using Bluetooth, and everything will just flow between the device and your stereo. But if you don't have Bluetooth, what we have here is a cable. This is a traditional headphone style cable. I think they're 3.5 millimeter jacks, and you can plug this into the device like a headphone out jack and plug it into the stereo if you have an auxiliary and an aux in port, and you can run the audio through that way. But if you don't even have that, my van had nothing. My van was just a stock stereo. This is an FM transmitter. The default station is 106 FM, so you can adjust that, but if that station works for you, you can turn your radio to 106 FM, and it will broadcast to your car stereo that way. So lots of ways to connect. Let's plug this in. I have a spare USB cable right here, so we are going to plug it in, power this thing on, and we're going to show you just a little bit of what this thing can do. I'm going to hold it the right way up. Sjoybring right there, or just Sjoybring. Takes just a second or two to boot up, and there we go. These are the default options. You will see right here we have Apple CarPlay. We have Android Auto, which is the Android version of CarPlay. I have an iPhone. We've got your DVR here. We've got your playback, and you've got audio output. If we go to the second page here, we've got Apple AirPlay. That's super cool. Android Cast, which is Android's version of that. And finally, Bluetooth. So you could use this just as a Bluetooth speaker if you wanted to do that. We also have a home button over here on the side. We have a couple of features that are kind of handy. One is this contrast bar or brightness. We can turn the brightness way down. This is super important for something that you're putting on your dash. You're gonna want this at a different brightness level in the day versus night. So you can adjust that right there. On the volume button is the same thing. You can do this, you can turn the volume up and down. You can also adjust where the audio is gonna go. And then here under settings, we have all these different settings. We'll go through what some of the settings are, but lots of things to configure and set up that you can play with. But when I used it, I didn't use any of the settings. It just automatically started working. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, now again, the use case scenario of this is probably if you have a car that doesn't already have CarPlay or Android Auto, something like that, you can add that to your stereo. And again, this is going to give you all the stuff of CarPlay, like your GPS, access to your apps, access to all your music, all that stuff. So to get this to work in Apple CarPlay is real easy. We're going to press the CarPlay button. Okay, I just did something I should have done before I started this, is I put it on the base, I attached the base, just so we can set it here for our demonstration. So once you go to Apple CarPlay on here, again, this is an iPhone 15, but it works with any iPhone that has Bluetooth. I guess that would be all of them. And we're gonna go to, I renamed mine to Sjoybring so that every time I go in, it's immediately connected. And so now, we should be on Apple CarPlay. And if we go to Apple CarPlay, CarPlay Bluetooth connects here, and there you go. This is Apple CarPlay. Now, my phone, if I'm driving, could be in my pocket. I don't need, in fact, I turned my phone off. I'll just set it down over here. Don't need your phone. Now you have access to all your apps. You can see, you can access your maps. You can get to your messages. You can make phone calls. This is connected from Bluetooth to your phone. So if you say, hey Siri, dial 405-599-1234.
Calling +1 405-599-1234.
So now you've got your hands-free dialing.
Oklahoma City weather now.
Instant weather is just a phone call away with Weather Now.
The current time, 11:10 a.m. And the temperature, 44 degrees. This afternoon's forecast, clear and breezy with the temperatures around 59 degrees. This evening, clouds here and there and somewhat breezy.
So there you go. You've got your hands-free dialing. You got all access to all the stuff on your phone. Obviously, you could go to your maps. You can go to your recently used apps. You can see all the apps that this has picked up off my phone. So not just the built-in Apple apps, but you've got access. Like I use Downcast for listening to podcasts. You've got, I have the NPR app. Here's Road Trippers. Here's some other map and GPS stuff. If you drive like I do, you probably want Waze on your phone. So as you can see, everything that you get through normal CarPlay, through your phone, you're going to get on CarPlay. Now, if you have an Android device, it's exactly the same thing. You're going to get that same experience. We're going to go up to the home button here, go back to our choices. And one of the things you can see, actually, let's go back to CarPlay and let's go take a look at our camera. And now what this is our front-facing camera. So if we're driving, this will be recording out the front. So let's say someone pulls out in front of you and you have to slam on the brakes, or I hope you don't get in an accident or something happens, but if you do, now this is recording all the time. You can see this has been recording. You have some options down here to turn the microphone on and off. If we had the rear camera set up, we would have the option to flip over to the rear camera. So we've got all those things. Now, if you're not familiar with the way that these types of cameras work, they break the video up into chunks. So you can in the settings you can set that to 1, 3, or 5 minutes. So it will fill up the card. There's a micro SD card in the side of this that will record for a long time, but you can upgrade it if you want, and it will record in those chunks. Every 3 minutes it starts a new video. It's seamless when you're watching it, but you could go through. So what happens is when that card fills up, it just starts deleting the old ones and it will start overwriting again. So it doesn't erase the entire card. It just erases 3 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes at a time, whatever you have that set to. There's also a lock button. So if you are involved in an accident and you don't want that video to get deleted, you can press the lock button on there and it will set that. It will protect that file so that it doesn't get erased. So again, we've got the Android version of the CarPlay stuff there. This is your DVR. That is the camera system. Now, if we turn off CarPlay, we can go into the playback mode and we can watch those videos that it has been recording. We have audio output, so you can control where the audio is going. Do you want it to go to the FM transmitter, to the auxiliary output? Do you want it to Bluetooth? How do you want it? Where do you want the audio of this device to go? That is all right there on the dash. And then again, here we have Apple CarPlay, which is the counterpart to Android Cast, and finally the Bluetooth. So to do the Apple CarPlay, you don't connect through Bluetooth, you connect through the Wi-Fi, and this has a Wi-Fi built in. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off CarPlay and disconnect, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tell this we would like to do Apple AirPlay instead. So the way that you do that is you go to the Wi-Fi on your phone. This device is going to show up under your list of Wi-Fi networks. It's right here at the top. It says CarLink. So we select CarLink, and then on the phone, if you pull down, we have the screen mirroring button. And so we're going to press the screen mirroring. It'll take just a second for the device to come up. Now it says Smart Screen. We will press that. And now what you'll see is that this screen goes away and it switches over to my phone. So everything that I'm doing on my phone is now appearing on the screen. So not all apps are compatible. This is not a problem with the device. This is just how AirPlay works. So you can't, for example, stream Netflix over Apple AirPlay. It doesn't work. A lot of video streaming places don't work, but a lot of apps and things do. For example, if you are driving in the car and you want to watch your favorite friends on Twitch, so you could go to Twitch and we can just pick a random Twitch stream here.
Scratch all of that. Lisa Vanderpump. Gloria Stefan
and here we go. You can see.
Gloria Vanderpump
Airstreamers, funny guys.
It's not relatable.
We could close that out. You could also, one of the most obvious things that you might want to do is under video, we've got YouTube. And so you can see there's YouTube, all kinds of videos here, and anything that you would bring up on YouTube. So there you go, Apple CarPlay, or AirPlay, excuse me. So all that stuff will go. Now, one of the things that you have to remember to do is you have to go turn that off. And so you go back in the app, you turn off, you say stop mirroring, and it immediately goes back. And you could go, if you want to go back to CarPlay again, go back to your Bluetooth, and the Sjoybring is connected. We tell it we want to reconnect, switch to Apple CarPlay, and there we go. CarPlay is back up. So again, if you don't have a smart stereo in your car, this is going to add all those features. And again, remember, if you have Bluetooth on your stereo, then yeah, you could connect this to your stereo with Bluetooth. But if you don't, you can use that auxiliary cable, or you could use that FM transmitter. So this is going to do all those things. This is all I can show you right here in the booth. Let's go take it out to the car. Let's give it a test. Okay, so as you can see, that now I have the device on my dash. Now the dash mount has an adhesive sticker on the bottom. I did not apply that sticker yet because, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure which car I want to install this in. I kind of want to put it in my van, but I kind of want to leave it in here. I'm kind of enjoying it the more that I play with it. So again, let's switch over to the camera. And now I had it angled down basically for the camera, but as you can see, you would have this recording, this big widescreen 1080p. That's what I have it set on right now. It does 1080p for both cameras, recording while you're driving. And again, these are broken up into those chunks, so I would need to adjust it a little bit higher for a driving angle. But go back to home. Obviously, we've got our CarPlay. It's set to my phone. My phone is put away. My phone's down here. My phone's in my pocket. And you can see we can do all those things. So we can do any of the things that we would normally do with our phone, like say, hey Siri, give me directions to the nearest taco restaurant.
One possibility I see is Taco Bell on Northwest Expressway Street in Oklahoma City. About 4 miles to your east, and it gets 2 stars on Yelp. Does that one sound good?
Hey Siri, give me directions to Taco Casa. And so, again,
starting route to Taco Casa.
Hands-free. You've got...
Proceed to West Britain Road, then turn right.
Okay. Volume down. So as you can see, we've got our map. Oh, there. You know what? There's actually a mute button. If you just hit the speaker, you can mute. So you've got your hands-free GPS. You've got your guidance, but also, again, that's just the default that Siri pulled up. Let's say that you prefer Waze. Any of those apps that are compatible with CarPlay are going to pull up on here. Man, I'm so happy with this device. Again, this car has a touchscreen, but it doesn't have CarPlay, and this is CarPlay, which I'm really enjoying. I could connect the Bluetooth to this, so I could get all those sounds, my music, everything through the car stereo. That's really cool. I really think this is cool, especially if you have an older stereo, like I said, that doesn't have a touch screen. Maybe you just have an aux in, or maybe you don't have anything at all. You can get all these features right into your car. This retails right now for $249, but I've got a link down there. They sent me a link that gets you $40 off. Now, my wife recently bought a Vantrue N2 Pro camera. This is a very popular camera for people that drive for Uber. It mounts up here, and it has a front-facing and rear-facing camera. It's 1080p front and rear. This has 1080p front. If I hook up the rear camera, it has 1080p rear. That thing that she bought was about $200. This with the discount is about $200. So just for the cameras alone, you're getting your money's worth, plus the CarPlay stuff, plus the AirPlay stuff, all the Bluetooth stuff, all that stuff built in, and this big giant screen. If I had to say, if there's anything that I don't like, it would be that the mount, you can take it off the mount. Obviously, you could loosen these things, but there's 3 or 4 pieces that come together that all kind of come out when you do that, which would make it switching between cars a little more difficult. Also, if I saw, I know this is $250 without the discount, which is a lot of money, but it looks even more expensive than that. So there are some places where I would not want to leave this sitting on my dash. I'd be afraid that someone would break into my car. In my old neighborhood, someone broke in and stole my $50 GPS. So I can just imagine how attractive a screen this size would be. So I'll probably end up using this suction cup mount just so when I go places or go in at night somewhere, I can pop that thing off the dash and maybe hide it down on the floorboard or in the seat. But really, that's the only thing. So, man, I'm super hyped, and now I'm going to go get some tacos. Thanks for watching this review.